You are now listening to Talk Your Jits podcast.
Welcome back to the Talk Your Jits podcast. This podcast is, as the name implies, all about jiu-jitsu. I'm your host, Lamar Smith, and today's guest is a black belt who trains at Divine Jiu-Jitsu and Island Jiu-Jitsu, located in Iwa Beach, Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, Rodney Strickland.
How you doing, sir?
What's going on, my brother?
Just beautiful day in Honolulu.
Man, it looks like a beautiful day.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, first, man, I'd like to show my appreciation, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show and talking about jiu-jitsu with me.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, without further ado, man, if you want to formally introduce yourself again, by all means, and let's hear your jiu-jitsu journey.
Yes, sir. I'm Rodney Gorilla Time Strickland. I'm from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Long area. I still live there, but I'm currently in Hawaii with my day job. I'm a tower climber for a telecommunications company, and I started jiu-jitsu about 20 years ago when I was 27. I'm about to turn 48 here in a couple of days now, and It's just been awesome because of my job. I work all around the United States, and every city that I go to, I train jiu-jitsu in. So I find a place to go. So I get to go to a lot of different schools, get a lot of different perspectives, train with a lot of different people. And it's just been an awesome journey, man. Like everybody else, I started out at white belt, and then 16 years later, I was promoted to black belt. And since then, I've grown as a black belt. It's important that you keep growing no matter what. That's the key to it. You keep growing, keep it interesting, keep learning from different people, and the jiu-jitsu journey never stops. There's not like an end to it. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. There's no end to this journey we call jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So where'd you start training at? You've been doing it for a very long time. What got you into doing
it? I was working as a jailer. I was with the sheriff's department, and and I heard about I was a little bit overweight, so I was up touching 300 pounds. So I heard about a Health and Gracie seminar that was happening, and I heard about Helson through him helping train hoist and all the UFC stuff. So I went to this seminar, and I was hooked, man. It was just, I was 27. I was a pretty big guy, so I thought that I could hold my own pretty well. I went to this seminar, and I just got handled. It's like they knew what they were doing, and I fell in love with it. I kept coming back, found the school after that seminar, and it was on from there. I've been doing it ever since.
Man, isn't that crazy when you think you being a bigger guy, I'll be fine. I can hold my own with these small fries.
Yeah. And then they handle you.
Yeah, we always talk about how jiu-jitsu is a very humbling sport when it comes to those people that first walk into the door.
Yes, sir. Still to this day, man, even as a first degree black belt, when you walk into the door of another school that you've never been to before, there may be a purple belt that is currently a D1 wrestler or something. You still run into people that will handle you. The black belt, like they say, covers 2 inches, and you have to cover the rest.
Yeah, cover the rest. Yeah, man, it's funny because people think that just because you're an upper belt or you're such a high rank that you're just supposed to be the master of everything. Nah, nah, because I still have trouble with blues and some white belts even at my own school. So
Yeah,
don't let the color fool you.
yeah, it's definitely a learning experience every time you run up on somebody that you don't know. You're
Yeah.
comfortable with your guys at your school, at the schools that you go to a lot, because I bounce around from school to school now because I travel for work or whatever. So you get comfortable with the guys at the schools that you actually train at. And then you find a place like here in Hawaii, out in Pearl City, I found Trilogy MMA. Brother, you walk in there, you fighting silverbacks from the first time you walk in, you slap hands with somebody to the last guy, 30 guys later that you roll in. Yeah, and it's straight gorillas, all of them. And you just like, man, damn, I am very out of shape for this time.
Whole different breed, man. Whole different breed.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem admitting my faults. When I got here, I was looking for a super fight. And I know you've heard of Fight to Win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so I put in with Seth Daniels at Fight to Win. Hey, I gave him my rank and my title and stuff, and told him I wanted to get a match on Fight to Win. Well, he came back with Patrick Satchel, and here on the island of Oahu, Patrick Satchel is the man. He's like, yeah, and probably in some other places because, man, I've been in a lot of super fights. I've faced a lot of big giant guys out there, and when I walked out to that ring, and I seen this dude standing across from me, I was like, man, what? What? And I ended up losing by a decision, by a referee decision. Thank God I was able to keep this man from submitting. But even at my rank, I got picked up, my back, and thrown in an armbar and had to escape from that. I had to escape from several positions. This guy was a juggernaut. And he wasn't just a big guy, he got a big skill. And you had to get out from under him and off the side of him everywhere. It's like he was a roadblock in my way everywhere I went. And it was a hard fought match just to not be submitted. So I was happy with that. With me, that in that particular situation, that was a win for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Survived. I mean, that's just a show. Even as a black belt, even as an upper belt, man, you still have to, in some cases, you still have to survive.
Yes, sir. That's number one rule. Don't forget where you came from. And don't forget that everybody else out there in that black belt category knows the same thing you know. And some of it matter. Yes, sir.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Cause I just recently started competing, and then one of my first tournaments I did, I competed at super heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and with grappling industries, I think their super heavy starts at like 220 something.
Yep.
So it's like 220 and up.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so one of the first guys I faced was about a 6'2", 200 and some odd plus pounds muscle gorilla guy, and I think I was pushing probably about about 240-ish in that, whatever. And dude, I've never felt so light in my life when he went for like a belly to belly type slam. And I was like, dude, there's no way I should be off my feet this easy. No way.
Yeah, they get you sometimes. They surprise you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? This is about to be a long day. This is about to be a very long, very short day. So, so would you like bounce visiting a lot of schools, man? What's been some of the craziest things you've seen visiting other schools?
Man, you see everything from people that are super flexible and you catch them in an arm bar or a toe hold or an ankle lock and it just goes all the way around and they don't even flinch. It's like their joints are rubber. And then I've seen like 75 and 80-year-old men that whoop up on 25-year-old dudes. I'm saying because usually out here in real life you don't really see that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just out in life in general, but in a jiu-jitsu uh, setting, man, it breaks all the rules, is what I'm saying. It's like
It does.
you go out there, and then I've ran into schools that have mat enforcers that if if you submit a lower belt, then the mat enforcer from that school jumps on you and tries to wear you out or whatever. And I've been to schools that don't even believe in like doing actual submissions. They believe in randori, flow rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just like getting to the point of submission, acknowledging that the guy submitted you or had you in the position to submit you and just keep flowing with it. So it's a whole bunch of different takes out here, man, and I'm talking from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to, Los Angeles, California, all the way out to Hawaii, all the way down to Puerto Rico, Miami, Florida, everywhere from end to end. It's crazy stuff you'll run into out there that you're not ready for. Yes, sir.
It sounds like it, man. As long as I've been training, I've been training for like the past 6 years. I've only visited maybe three other jujitsu gyms, and they, like I said, they all been different.
Yes, sir.
Some, yeah, because like the one I went to yesterday, a good friend of mine he was a guest on the show too. His school they're a heavy competition school.
Yep.
So from bell to bell, it was just work, 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 and I was like, oh, this is something to get used to, So because what they do in a whole entire class, we do like partially because we're not a competition school. So every now and then we might switch it up a little bit, but this level of intensity is every day for them.
Yes, sir.
So it's like I'm like, we're repping like we doing like situational drills and everything is like 6 minutes, 6 minutes,
Yep.
6 minutes.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God. So,
Yes, sir. Where from in the Myrtle Beach area, I'm actually affiliate with 3 competition schools. You have
okay.
Honor MMA, which has active cage fighters and pro jiu-jitsu guys. Then you have Legion MMA, which is more of the same, and then you have Typhon Jiu-Jitsu, which is headed by a good friend of mine, Will. He's one of the. If you're down in the Myrtle Beach area and you've ever been over to Typhon Jiu-Jitsu, you know that Will Schaefer is one of the best guys in that area. You have Sarge Green. He's a really good guy. Um, the out there, man, it is so many good schools that come together that it's just a lot of good jujitsu in that concentrated area. It's
Yeah.
how good you can get going out there. Shane Briggs at Legion MMA, he's another one. He is actually like I think a second degree black belt and under Scott Devine, and he's phenomenal. It's just it's just a circle of out there. It's a circle of competition shark tanks. Everywhere
Yeah.
you go, there's a Shark Tank, you know. So I mean, it's just it's awesome. If you're ever down in that area, I suggest you look up those schools, you know, on your phone and drop through some of them because they're awesome. Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah, man. Oh yeah. I definitely love that atmosphere of a competition school. Because you know, from the few times I visited other school, one of our guys who used to train here, he's in Atlanta now, so he trains out in American Top Team, and he tells us stuff that goes on there about like their how their class structure, how how much work and how intense it is, and I love that, man. I love that atmosphere so much.
Yeah,
So
it's man, there's like a total difference in when you come from a school that teaches technique and like self-defense and stuff that you got to be ready to defend yourself with, but then
mhm.
you go to a school that is competition and you're going out there to be the best. You're not
Yeah,
putting anybody else down, and or you're not being ungrateful of any of the guys or girls helping you come up, but at that moment it's just you and the other guy on the mat.
yeah.
It's like I was out in Boston, and I got the awesome chance to go to Joe Lazon's school, and
Okay.
I met Joe and talked to him for a little while, but he had broken a finger, a couple fingers or something, getting ready to fight Cowboy Cerrone. And,
Hmm.
but just rolling with Joe's guys because Joe is there and actively teaches at that school, it it was it was all I could handle, man. Just from I think there was like one or two of his brown belts there, all the way down to his white belts, and those guys were just that's a definite competition school. And if you're ever out in Boston and you get the chance to go to Joe Lazon's school, Lazon MMA, go out there, dude, because it will change your jiu-jitsu because those guys come with a different perspective.
All right, so you're gonna be my tour guide, man. Once I start traveling to these different schools, man, I'm gonna just hit you up like, hey, I need some I need some names, man.
Yes, sir. Hit me up anytime. There's a lot of guys all over, man, that have awesome schools that you can duck into. Say you go somewhere with your job and you're going to be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. These guys will let you come in, do a not an introductory class, but they'll let you come in and do a free class or whatever and get some rolls in with them. And
Yeah.
and it's awesome, man. Everybody that I've run into, like Chris McKinney down in West Virginia, Beckley, he's an awesome guy. He just retired from MMA after his last fight that he had this past Saturday, and he's an awesome guy. He's one of the black belts down in West Virginia that I had the pleasure of training with. They're everywhere, man. It's just I'm so blessed to be able to get to travel like I do and connect with these guys.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. That's one thing I can definitely say for sure. Even with the small time I have been training, the jujitsu community as a whole has been nothing short of amazing. From the people that I've met through this podcast, from even like the few people I talk to online, man, everyone is so welcoming, everyone is so humble, and everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, man, no, if you ever in North Carolina, West Virginia, California, blah, blah, just you get all these invitations in so many places, man. It's like you don't see that a lot.
Yes, sir. It's everywhere. Like when I am in the Myrtle Beach area, I run Gorilla Time Jiu-Jitsu and Fitness out of my garage, and I several people come through. Chris the Constrictor came, Marvin Beast Mode Skipper, all these MMA fighters. They come through and they work on their uh, jiu-jitsu for MMA with me, because certain people want to target certain things, and you have to, shut the rest of it. Like if you're doing sport jiu-jitsu and you want to flip to jiu-jitsu for MMA because you're about to get in the cage, you have to shut some of that sport jiu-jitsu stuff that you do off because it'll get you knocked out in the cage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people like to come through and specialize in things, and they all trust me because I'm well known in that area. Everybody knows Gorilla Time. Uh, it's it's awesome, and actually a lot of people all over here in Hawaii, in Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, different places like that. People have seen me repeatedly and know me as Gorilla Time. Is is I'm trying to build a family. You know what I'm saying? My extended jiu-jitsu family. Anywhere I'm at, if anybody needed help training and they didn't have one of their partners had to work or whatever, and I was in their area, I'll be more than glad to come and help you train, because usually when I'm away from home, I do this job and go to the hotel. And I'm either at a jiu-jitsu place anywhere, I find a spot anyway, or I go to the gym and do some cardio or weight training. So, yeah, that's how I live my life, man. I try to be all about it.
Man, that's the best life to have, man. It's like you said, building that foundation, building that family, man, just to be able to just go anywhere and be comfortable. You have a jiu-jitsu home somewhere in the States, right?
Well, right now, Island Jiu-Jitsu in Eva Beach, Hawaii, Nick Alcaron, he's the instructor out there. That's my jiu-jitsu home right now. But by being blessed and the glory of God Himself, the last guy that I competed against introduced me to all his silverbacks over at Trilogy, because I am a heavyweight. I'm walking around at about 249 to 253 right now, so I needed a little heavier guys that are higher level to train with. And man, Patrick Statchel introduced me to Desi and Kyle at Trilogy MMA in Pearl City on Oahu, and man, they gave me all I could handle. That school brother is, man, yeah, you total whooping every time you go in there. Somebody gets you. I don't care how high your confidence level is. I don't care if you have an attitude. People in there will adjust you. It's that they got somebody for every occasion you can think of. Yes, sir.
Oh man. So like when you like sit down and like look back at this journey that you had, like, did you ever imagine that you would be so involved and so committed in jiu-jitsu like this?
No, actually, I just thought when I first started, I just thought, okay, this looks pretty cool, and at this point, I'm fat. I need to lose some. I'm over 300 pounds to lose some weight, and an eye opener for me is when I went into the school. It was a school in Georgetown, South Carolina, and which is not too far down the road from Conway. And when I went to the Health and Gracie seminar, there was a purple belt female there that put it on me. I mean, you couldn't get her off your back. She was just like a competition, does Naga and New every weekend. And I was a, fat, bald-headed guy who didn't really thought he could handle his own, but really didn't know what he was doing. And it's been so long ago that embarrassingly, I can't even remember her name. But if I did remember her name, I would broadcast it and let people look out for her. She's got to be a black belt or higher now. Got to be second or third degree black belt. She put it on me, and then that's when I said, "Damn, you're dealing with inmates every day." And so far, I was doing pretty good. I'd been able to control most of the inmates that I had to, but I go in here and this little 135-pound purple belt female touched me up. And she brought me a bottle of water when I was sitting up against the wall, out of breath, sweat running down my face. She brings me a bottle of water and says, "Hey, don't take it too hard. It happens to everybody." I'm like 10-4. And here I am, Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's funny. That is hilarious. But yeah, man, I think everyone has that humbling experience when it comes to jiu-jitsu, and it's up to you to take it as learning experience, or you're gonna let it break your ego, man. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, because when the first time I trained, I rode with an older guy, and I knew I had a good 30 pounds on him at least. Man, it felt like I could do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. So yeah, so after that first day, man, I was like, nah, I got to figure this out. I got to learn this. Like, there is no way someone this small should be able to control me the way they did. So,
Yes.
man,
Yes, if you ever go to another guy that came up with me, if you ever go out, I don't know if you ever go to Houston, Texas.
No, I haven't been.
But out in Houston, Texas, at Dark Side, there's a guy named Scott Pezzle. That's a real beast, and his Dark Side it's a competition school. That's another one out there. When you just on your job trips or whatever, if you ever run into that place, they'll put it on you if you go in. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I've been actually looking for other schools to visit here in Detroit. We don't. They're slowly but surely popping up. I think like a 10th Planet just recently opened up in Royal Oak. That's not too far from me. So it's awesome to see the community grow and just being able to find like so many different places to see so many different styles and outlooks and opinion on jiu-jitsu, man. It's really been an eye-opener. Really been an eye-opener.
You would have to mention the one place I've never done jiu-jitsu in.
Michigan. Oh, 10th Planet? Oh, yeah. Michigan? Oh, really?
At all. I've never done jiu-jitsu in Detroit or anywhere else in Michigan for that matter. That's one state that I missed. Yes, sir.
Oh man, you gotta make it a point now.
Maryland, all of those I've been into, but I just missed Michigan completely. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got quite a few, man. We got quite a few good heavy hitter schools here in Michigan, man. So yeah. So when was your last super fight?
It was, I want to say February 26th. This past February.
Okay. So do you mainly do super fights, or you compete like in tournaments as well?
I compete in tournaments when I can, when I'm able to, and there's one in my area. But like I get into super fights because I'm out there and I'm talking to people, and they're like, "Oh, we got Battle of the Beast going on. You know, such and such and so is doing it. You know," and I put my name in the pot, and they give me a fight to win, serious submission grappling. You know, different companies that do jiu-jitsu super fights. And I think the last Naga that I was a part of was like Naga 2019 or something
Okay.
like a tournament style. And everything since then has been like super fights or, you know,
Fight to wins.
yeah, fight to win, stuff like that. Yeah, but I'm open to get in because I went and helped coach some people at the Triple Crown here in Hawaii out in Wailua a couple months ago. But I didn't actually compete myself because when I went to compete, they didn't say they had a black belt, you know, level there. It was everybody that was competing was brown belts on down. And I was like, well, you know, I don't know if they're going to have black belts out there to compete or not. So when I got out there, like after a few hours of being there, there were people already bracketed up, and the bracket was closed, and there was like a couple black belts, maybe 2 or 3 competing with each other, and I missed that one, but I'm looking to get in on the next one. Like there's a World Series of Jiu-Jitsu coming through either this island or Big Island, and I'm looking to either do it on Oahu or fly out to Big Island to do it. So yeah, I want to get into more tournaments and stuff, but I've just had the opportunity to fight the guys to do the super fights because I want to test myself against the best in an area, you know? It's like you can do that at a tournament too because they're there as well, but when you do the super fights, it gets showcased and, you know, the mat doesn't lie.
Oh yeah.
All your
Oh yeah.
exposed, yeah, and they can see it, and it's just you and the other guy under the lights, and it's, you know, usually on pay-per-view and live stream and everything else. So that's what I like about the super fights as opposed to like Naga and New Breed. Usually, if that's streamed, it's within a closed stream. You know, a limited amount of people can see it. But when they do these super fights, like you can look up Fight to Win. They're in Texas one day, Mississippi the next, Hawaii the next, California the next. They got all these opens, and it's all pay-per-view. And you go in, anybody in the world can, you know, pay for it and watch it, and you get more coverage that way and get your name out there. You know, whether that's good or bad, I'm not, you know, the jury's still out on whether that's a good or a bad. But I just like to be out there active in that world. And yes, I'll do tournaments that come through that I'm able to go to. I'll definitely do those. But anytime I don't turn down any super fight. I don't care who they give me. It's just it's not in my blood to turn it down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I've, you know, ever since I've gotten my brown belt and I've been given the opportunity to like, well, I guess kind of like train more with the people that I've meet, and like I'm really starting to fall in love with that competitive scene, and I'm like, you know, trying to eventually branch off into that, like the super fights and the fight to wins, and you know, the just like submission only competitions, and just looking at some of the, you know, some of the matches I've seen, and you know, just whatnot. I'm like, ooh, man, that I have a lot to go as far as like my work ethic, like cardio and stuff like that, man. So I'm excited to push, you know, to have another goal to push towards too in jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir.
And man, it's exciting. It's exciting to think about, you know, eventually doing that one day.
Yes, sir. And as a black belt, talking to a brown belt that's next in line to be a black belt and be at the black belt competition level, bro, at all those other levels, most of the time, you can get by on some strength. You can get by on some, I don't want to call it luck because there's really no such thing as luck, but you know what I'm talking about. If you can get by with being heavy, you can get by with being a little stronger than the other guy, but when you hit that black belt level, it's a whole different game.
It's a whole different game.
Doesn't matter that there ain't no weight classes. I mean, there are weight classes in some of the competitions or whatever, but don't think because you're a 250-pound black belt that a 135-pound black belt won't come put it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all you have to get more, and I'm just telling you, you need to get more in depth in your escapes and sweeps and setting up angles and positions where you can get more of an advantage as opposed to going straight gusto for the sub. It's a lot more planning and cerebral stuff that goes in because these guys out here, man, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Masters at it. Like, I mean, imagine being on the mat with Gordon Ryan. you know, everybody wants to be on the mat with Gordon Ryan because we know. But when you're on the mat with Gordon Ryan, you know there's a 50-50 chance he's going to embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that when you get out here at this black belt level, these another beast.
Yeah, I got a taste of it, man. With the couple times I competed at a brown belt, and I've seen these guys work, man. It's like, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm still a couple steps behind, but I'm willing to put the work in, man. I've been trying to stay focused on it, and train as much as I possibly can, and go after it, man.
Yes, sir.
So it's definitely been an eye-opening experience, because at my school we're more traditional, we're more self-defense, with jiu-jitsu. So seeing like these other schools and how they work and how they push and push and push and push and push, I'm like, man, that is what I feel like I've been kind of like missing in jiu-jitsu, is that hard rolling, that hard work ethic from jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir. And another thing is, I'm talking to everybody, including myself, because a lot of guys get caught up in jiu-jitsu as a whole. It helps you a lot if you get into other things as well. Like if you're a jiu-jitsu guy and you're 100%, to the wall with it, step into a striking class once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Get and learn how to use your jiu-jitsu while somebody is striking you, or learn how to defend against strikes while you're using your jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? Because once you say you think you've mastered what you know is sport jiu-jitsu or submission jiu-jitsu, then there's a whole different world to get into where you're doing jiu-jitsu as opposed to somebody striking you or kicking you or whatever, and that's another thing a lot of jiu-jitsu guys need to get into and cross-train because that's a whole nother area that you have to open up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I love that, because my school, when we test for our next rank, that's a part of our test is self-defense.
Yes, sir.
Defend against someone who's striking you, from different positions, mount, side control, if they got your back, turtle position. So we get hit.
Yes,
and
sir.
One of the models is, if you can't do this while someone is hitting you, then you can't do it at all.
That's right.
So
that's right. You can't do it while being striked on or or somebody is throwing punches or kicks or whatever the case may be, and you can't defend yourself from it, then it's pretty much you got to go back to the drawing board to make sure you tighten that gap up where you don't have that gap in your game, you know?
Yeah,
Because
definitely, man.
I have actually been on the mat doing jiu-jitsu in a regular tournament, like, you know, back in the day, Naga, New Breed, wherever, and you get hit with elbows, you're spinning to side mount, somebody cracks you in the head with a knee, you know, you get struck in jiu-jitsu more than people think.
Yeah.
With elbows, kicked in the face, you know, all kind of stuff, and you just have to be ready for that because that's the nature of the game. It's a gritty game out there when you get into the competition side of it, and you just have to be ready for it, you know?
Yeah, because it's to the point now where like some of the people that we roll with, you know, we'll be rolling and we'll like clash heads or throw an elbow or something. We don't stop. We'll slow down. But hey, you all right? All right, keep going. Yeah, I didn't, you know, I didn't caught a couple headbutts, you know, a knee to the chin, you know, elbow across the jaw, like, you know, a gouge and everything else, man. So you just gotta accept it and keep moving.
Yes, sir.
It's bound to happen. You thinking, you know, you're flinging your body all which ways, and you're trying to, you know, beat them to the punch. Eventually, something's going to collide.
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
yeah, because we had one of our training partners. They was working from stand up, and I don't know how he managed to do this, but he ducked under, and I guess the way he went, he kind of like kneed himself in the face.
Oh my God.
And cut it, you know, he had a, you know, little cut across his eye, and, you know, he got it stitched up and he was back next week, you know, back at it again. So
yes, sir. That's the name of the game.
yeah, that is the name of the game, the nature of the beast.
Yes, sir.
So Rodney, man, I know you've been around the block a couple times, man, when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So it's probably this list you probably already fulfilled it, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Past or present, man, who are some people you would love to get a chance to roll with?
Like I said, I was down at Joe Lazon's place, and his hand was injured from training for the Cerrone fight. So I would love to get a chance to roll with Joe because I know I would learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was ever able to, I would love to roll with Rusamar Pajares. He's one of the guys that stands out in my mind as a great submission artist. You know, Babaluso Brawl. You know, just everybody. Cruz that won the ADCC West Coast last year.
Okay.
Elder Cruz, if I was ever able to get to where I could roll with him, I would love to roll with him. There's a bunch of names of the people that I've been around and that I haven't gotten a chance to roll with, but I would definitely like to seize the opportunity. There's so much going on in my life that some names are escaping me, but yeah.
No, I get it, man. It's hard to narrow that list down. It's definitely hard to narrow the list down because you want to say everybody, but trust me, I get it. I definitely get it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Rodney, man, unless you got any questions for me, man, if you want to update the people on what you got going on, shout out your schools, man. And yeah, man, the floor is all yours.
Well, I was just going to ask you, do you have a large school? You said that you have your own school. I didn't know, do you have a large school or medium?
No, we're pretty small. Like we got like 12 people, give or take.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
We're starting to grow back again.
Because if I come through Michigan in my travels, I'm gonna hit you up. And
Come on, man.
Guys.
Come on, man. We'd love to have you. We're a small school, but we're predominantly big guys.
Yeah, if anybody sees this, I just want to, the schools that I mentioned, Typhon Jiu-Jitsu, Honor MMA, Legion MMA, Allen Jiu-Jitsu, and Trilogy MMA. Those are all the schools that I want to give a shout out to. And if anybody that's listening in our whole jiu-jitsu community, these people over in Maui, Hawaii, just had a terrible fire. It was a terrible disaster. And if they can send prayers and even help in any way, look up and be able to help the people of Maui out at all, that would be awesome. I just want to put it out there that I'm praying for them, because I moved to this island just about 7 months ago, but I love it. I don't really want to leave, but yeah, that's all I got for you, man. I hope it was a good showing for you.
Oh yeah, man, it was definitely an honor, man, to talk to you, man, and hear about all the experiences you had with jiu-jitsu for sure.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, if you ever in Michigan, if I ever catch you in Hawaii, man, I would love to sit on the mats with you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Rodney, man, I appreciate you, man. And that's the end of today's episode. I would like to thank Rodney one more time for coming on the show and blessing us with his jiu-jitsu knowledge, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please go and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube page to stay updated on all future episodes. This has been Talk Your Jits podcast. Keep rolling, keep grinding, and remember, long live jiu-jitsu. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.